Hello, hello. We all fight more or less with our ego, for our ego, or against our ego. However, if we are treated stupidly in any way, we can either quickly become the horniest monkey in the stable or want to disappear into thin air. That's what happens when love affairs or relationships end. Being pushed away is, of course, the worst thing that can happen. We think that. But it can be even worse when anger, pride, deception, and greed combine to inflate the ego even further. All of this can make you really sick, trigger mental crisis, and in the worst case, turn into really bad depressions. Why? Let me try to explain. Our ego is influenced by various factors. First of all, there is the social environment. The way other people see and treat us can have a significant impact on our ego. Positive affirmation and recognition can help strengthen our ego, while rejection and criticism can weaken it. Then our experiences also have an effect on the ego. Life experiences and events can influence our ego. Successes and feelings of achievement can strengthen the ego, while failures and setbacks can weaken it. In addition, there are also social norms. The culture and society in which we live has a great influence on our ego. Certain cultural values and norms can help strengthen or weaken our self-esteem. That's why there are some southern nations. I won't say anything about it. Better it is. Anyway, our self-image also determines our ego. Our self-image plays an important role in influencing our ego. If we have a positive self-image and value ourselves, this can help to strengthen our ego. Conversely, a negative self-image can lead to a weakened ego. And lastly, of course, it depends on our personality type. Different personality types can have different effects on the ego. People with a more dominant or confident personality type may tend to have a stronger ego, while people with a more reserved or insecure personality type may have a weaker ego. Now, let's stay with the example of rejection, being separated or betrayed by someone or whatever. Not only is the ego affected, but there are 4 terrible components to it: anger, pride, deception, and greed. These are the 4 destructive affective states of mind, or the 4 evils, as they are called in Buddhist teachings. They are the main cause of suffering, and in karmic terms, their negative engine. Anger or resentments is a state characterized by strong negative emotions, such as hostility and aggression. When we are controlled by anger, we can cause harm to others and engage in negative actions that can lead to unwholesome consequences. Pride or haughtiness is a state in which we elevate ourselves above others and consider ourselves superior. The proud mind prevents us from connecting with others, creates detachment and arrogance, and often prevents us from recognizing our own faults or weaknesses. Delusion or ignorance is a state of delusion or ignorance about the reality of things. When we are ruled by delusion, we see the world and ourselves in a distorted way rather than clearly. This can lead to misjudgment, wrong judgments, and erroneous actions. Greed or avarice is a state in which we strive for possessions, pleasure, or success and are attracted to more and more material or emotional goods. The greedy mind creates a constant craving and dissatisfaction that can keep us trapped in a constant cycle of seeking and craving. These 4 affective states of mind are considered karmic or destructive because they remove us from a state of equanimity, compassion, and recognition of reality. They keep us in a cycle of suffering and affect our actions and their effects on us and others. When these states either fire up our ego or drive it into the ground because we have no self-esteem anyway, there is a tendency for that person to think only of their own needs, desires, and goals and care less about the consequences of their actions for others. Only a few months ago, I had to plant a tree of remembrance for a 16-year-old young man who broke and took his own life as a result of circulating vile lies after a breakup with his girlfriend. But I have also planted several trees of remembrance for people who thought they were simply worthless. This too was usually caused by people who, in blind rage, with false pride, with almost criminal deceptions and lies, and an excessive greed for their own recognition, monstrously inflated their own ego in order to destroy the ego of the weaker counterpart. Overall, anger, pride, deception, and greed can have a negative impact on mental health, as they can often lead to conflict, isolation, and other stressful or unhealthy situations. It is important to recognize that emotions and behaviors and learn to channel them in healthy and constructive ways to protect one's mental health. In the concept of karma, which as a Mahatma I have been deeply involved with for years, an understanding of connection, compassion, and action for the good of all is emphasized. This means that excessive adherence to the ego and its pursuits can lead us to move away from our true spiritual potential and live less in a good karma. And nothing provides clearer evidence of cause and effect than our excessive malicious actions, which are based on anger, pride, deception, greed, and fatal egoism. And really, if somebody is leaving you because he don't loves you anymore, then let him go, even if it's hurt. We cannot pray for love. We cannot keep the love. We are not responsible for love. Love is coming and going, and we can't do a thing against it. But we can embrace it if it's there. Just let it go and accept it. And I have spoken about acceptance yesterday. So, ciao, ciao.